Tonight, a nurse shot dead by US federal agents. The deadly altercation caught on camera, protests and vigils. A Swans player punched and knocked to the ground at a Sydney pub. Aggressors on the run. Bomb squad operation, 12 controlled detonations in a Melbourne suburb. And it's down to the wire tonight. The Sixers about to take on the Scorchers in a blockbuster BBL final.
This is 7 News with Paul Kadak.
Good afternoon. US immigration enforcement officers have shot and killed an American citizen in the city of Minneapolis for the second time this month. Video shows the 37-year-old being wrestled to the ground before gunshots ring out. Thousands of Americans now gathering for protests and vigils. Live now to US correspondent Miley Hogan. Miley, officials claim these border agents were fearing for their lives.
Paul, good afternoon. That is the claim of federal agents. They say this 37-year-old man approached them, that he was armed with a semi-automatic handgun and that he approached them with the intent to, quote, massacre law enforcement. Now, the videos that have surfaced online clearly contradict that version of events. The 37-year-old man was seen pepper sprayed. Several ICE agents then wrestled him to the ground before those fatal shots were then fired. The 37-year-old man has now been identified as Alex Pretty. He is a US citizen. He is a local ICU nurse there in Minneapolis. Take a listen to the conflicting versions of events here from federal agents compared to state agents.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
Thank God we have video, because according to DHS, these 7 heroic guys took an onslaught of a battalion against them or something. It's nonsense, people.
Fatal shooting of a US citizen in that city in just over 2 weeks, carried out by ICE agents. It has sparked more protests on the streets. Vigils are also being held this evening, but there are also questions about the investigations. Federal authorities say that they are taking the lead on this, but that is causing more issues from state authorities and people on the ground who are questioning if they can be impartial on this investigation, Paul.
Miley Hogan in the US for us. Thank you. Sydney Swans player Taylor Adams was punched and knocked unconscious outside a club in the city's eastern suburbs last night. The 32-year-old was reportedly with other Swans players when he got into an altercation with 2 men. Adams was knocked to the ground and later taken to hospital. No arrests have been made. The aggressors fled before officers arrived. The Swans say they don't tolerate violence and are working with police to identify the offender. Queensland Parks and Wildlife Rangers are preparing to euthanise a pack of dingoes involved in the death of a 19-year-old tourist on Gari. An autopsy of Canadian backpacker Piper James found she was attacked by wild dogs before she died and also had injuries consistent with drowning. Rangers say the dingoes pose an unacceptable safety risk and will now be culled. Police hunting an accused triple murderer in central west New South Wales have made a major break in the case. Live now to Inga Nielsen at Lake Cargelligo. Inga, there's been a reported sighting of the fugitive.
That's right. Good afternoon, Paul. Police say there's been a sighting of potentially Julian Ingram at a community called Mount Hope, which is about 100 kilometres from here. If that's the case, that would be the first time Julian Ingram's been seen since he allegedly shot 3 people dead and seriously injured a 4th on Thursday afternoon. More than 100 police are on the ground searching a property that's thousands of hectares in size in the effort to find him. Ingram's accused accused of shooting his 25-year-old heavily pregnant ex-girlfriend Sophie Quinn and her new boyfriend John Harris, as well as Sophie's auntie Nerida Quinn on Thursday afternoon. He also is accused of shooting 19-year-old Caleb McQueen, who sustained serious injuries. 7 News spoke to Caleb this morning. His first day back at home since being treated at Canberra Hospital. He is pleading with police to continue with the search until they find him, saying they won't feel safe until he's caught.
I heard boom, boom. I seen her, she was holding her neck, and then he was laughing and gave her one good shot to the head, and she was gone.
Obviously, with an armed offender in that area, we are asking for members of the public to exercise extreme caution. We think that he is on his own at this present time, but again, we can't rule out or discount the possibility that he's been assisted by locals.
Police say they are confident they will find Ingram. The search is now in its 4th day, and they say they have no plans to scale back their efforts. They're continuing to warn the community to not approach Ingram if he's seen. Paul.
Inga Nielsen at Lake Cargelligo. Thank you. The bomb squad has swarmed on a home in Melbourne's northwest after a number of suspicious devices were found inside. Jordan Quinn is in Keilor East. Jordan, police have been at the property for more than 24 hours.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. The townhouse has now been cleared and police are all packed up now after spending the morning here carrying out detonations on incendiary devices that were located at the home around 11:30 yesterday morning. At least a dozen explosions rang out over the course of this morning before detectives moved in to start gathering evidence. Neighbours say the home was being used as an Airbnb, which will no doubt form part of this investigation. Now, once detectives cleared the home, they then turned their attention just around the corner to a white Toyota, which is believed to be a rental car and linked to this investigation. Only hours ago, the bomb squad was then called back in. They brought the sniffer dog before using a rod to open the car doors and boot so they could thoroughly search the car. However, they found nothing. Paul, at this stage, there have been no arrests.
Jordan Quinn in Melbourne for us. Thank you. Susan Lee appears to be on borrowed time as Liberal leader, with key party figures scoping out support for a tilt of their own. As political editor Mark Riley reports, a direct challenge may still be some way away, but the negotiations are already in full swing.
Well, Angus Taylor, the Shadow Defence Minister and presumed Liberal leadership candidate, has returned home from his European holiday and straight away hit the phones to talk to his colleagues as the Liberal Party moves on an inevitable course to yet another leadership spill. Mr Taylor stood against Susan Lee after the Liberal Party's election rout last year, losing by just a couple of votes, and I'm told he would definitely be a candidate again this time if there is another spill. That, as the other presumed Conservative leadership contender, Andrew Hastie, was out for a Sunday morning jog around his home south of Perth, but run down by our ageless and indefatigable 7 News colleague, Jeff Parry. Have a look.
I just don't want to talk about party matters to the media. It's not what we do.
Well, it suggests that you've already got the numbers.
There are a lot of suggestions out there.
Will you be talking to Angus Taylor about it, trying to come to some solution for this problem?
I'll give you the same answer, and I won't be talking about party matters.
An interview on the run. Now, senior Liberals tell me reports in 9 newspapers that Angus Taylor has offered Mr Hastie the role of his deputy are wrong. A bit of mischief making as the Conservatives wrestle over which of the two men is their preferred leadership candidate, something they've been told to work out between themselves, although I understand they're yet to speak to each other directly, all this being done thus far through intermediaries. The only remaining question now, though, is when that challenge will come.
Mark Riley in Canberra. Parts of the east coast are in the grips of a heat wave. Brisbane and Sydney sweltering today. As Sam Payne reports, some Sydney beaches were closed when shark alarms went off.
Well, swimmers have headed to any water source they could find here in Western Sydney as the temperature hit over 40 degrees.
Lake Parramatta filled up with people of all ages trying to escape the heat.
It's amazing, man. Just in the middle of, the city in Parramatta, and then you have this beautiful place here.
And this is why we come down. It's nice and flat, easy.
And while lifesavers at our city's beaches remained vigilant, Maroubra, Manly and Whale Beach had to be closed temporarily after sharks were sighted offshore.
Anywhere where you see those red and yellow flags, that is a patrolled location where our lifesavers and our lifeguards are on duty. That is the safest place to swim this weekend.
With the state government announcing another $4.2 million will be invested into the shark management program. So that means more drones, educational programs and listening devices will be installed in Sydney Harbour to alert swimmers at exposed beaches.
We'll be tagging more bull sharks and particularly looking at their movements across Sydney Harbour for a number of reasons.
In the news tonight at 6, I'll have more details about the shark program funding and reactions from this very hot day.
More than 50,000 fans are set to pack Optus Stadium for tonight's Big Bash final between the Perth Scorchers and Sydney Sixers. 7 Cricket's Aaron Finch joins me now from Optus Stadium. Aaron, the forecast says possible afternoon showers. What's the weather like right now?
It doesn't seem like it at the moment. It's beautiful weather at the moment, beautiful 24 degrees, so all set fair for the brilliant fixture tonight.
Now, the Scorchers have won all 3 games against the Sixers this season. Can you see the Sixers turning the tables tonight?
Yeah, I can. They were uncharacteristically sloppy in the first final that they played over here in Perth. So, I mean, they just need their batting to click together. I think they've been so reliant on Steve Smith, as a lot of teams that he plays for are. But absolutely, they're in with a shout. They've got a brilliant bowling lineup with so much experience. As you say, Steve Smith has been in stellar form for the Sixers. Who else needs to fire up for the visitors to be a chance tonight? I think it's the experienced players that need to really step up. It's Josh Philippi, it's Moses Enriques. It's that top order that really need to try and form some big partnerships and put a lot of pressure back on the Perth Scorchers. They've been fantastic with the ball, particularly young Marley Beardman. So from that point of view, they just need to play good, sensible, basic cricket. It will be a cracker. OK, Aaron, thank you. And our coverage of the Big Bash final begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time on 7 and streaming on 7+. Still to come in 7 News, Melbourne choked with smoke. Bushfires break containment lines. That's next. Plus, the number of sharks in Queensland waters explode. Our reporter breaks down the numbers in just a moment.
Tonight, a Big Bash final for the ages. Here we go.
Oh my God! What about this? This day is just getting better.
Perth Scorchers, Sydney Sixers. Tonight, live and free on 7 and stream free on 7+.
I'm sipping on sunshine. Everybody's so fun. Yeah. We're gonna have a good time. When we're sipping on sunshine. We're sipping on sunshine. We're sipping on sunshine.
No child should feel their best effort isn't enough. Don't let poverty take another school year from Ava. Sponsor a child today.
Oh yes, the Aussie Open is back. So get on Sportsbet's feed, where you can copy, follow and get inspiration from other punters. The feed from Sportsbet.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
My oven needs to stay at an exact even temperature to make this sponge cake rise. So what happens if I switch to a cheaper energy provider in the middle of baking? I'll tell you what would happen. Nada, zilch, zero, nothing, diddly squat. Your energy supply doesn't change, only your provider does. My sponge cake will keep rising, but my energy costs won't. Search Compare Energy to see if iSelect can help you save more.
An out-of-control bushfire has broken through containment lines in Victoria's southwest, threatening communities north of the Great Ocean Road. While in Melbourne, smoke has triggered citywide health alerts. Here's Paul Dowsley.
It is a thick and smelly smoke haze that has settled on Melbourne for much of the night and day, and it's coming from a bushfire that is 150 kilometres away. The main fire out of 6 that are burning, 4 are out of control, is in the Otways, including around the Carlisle River. It moved rapidly overnight. It's now approaching 9,000 hectares, up about 3,000 from overnight, and residents are evacuating, some seeking shelter in the town of Kadak.
Overnight we had about 51 people and we had a lot of livestock and pets.
I just said go. It was go. And I ran around like an old chook, grabbing everyone and packing them in.
Went from thinking it was all, sort of cruisy with time, and then all of a sudden it's like take shelter, and it's like, do you stay and take shelter, or maybe we'll just do a quick run for it.
The smoke plume drifted northeast towards Geelong and Melbourne and beyond, and it settled for hours, shrouding the city. The air quality in Sunbury, north of the city, was the EPA's worst possible on the scale. Extremely poor. The smoke only lifted this afternoon. And there are extremely harsh conditions this week in northern Victoria, in the 40s all week, peaking on Tuesday in Mildura. They're expected top 48.
Paul Dowsley in Melbourne. There's been a dramatic rise in the number of sharks caught under Queensland's controversial control program. Michael Hammond joins us live from Brisbane with the details. Michael, what's driving this increase?
Paul, the almost 3,500 sharks captured last year is double the year before. These are the sharks caught in baited drumlines and mesh nets that are actually designed to reduce the risk of us encountering them. The Department of Primary Industry says it's catching more sharks, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's more of them overall, citing changes to the program, rainfall and water temperature as potential contributors. Environmental groups argue it's proof current control measures are failing.
We need to step forward out of the 60s, use modern technology, modern science, modern data, and actually move this program forward.
We will continue to make sure that we put people's lives first and continue to invest in those measures.
Many experts want the use of drone surveillance and shark alert apps expanded along with greater education. The government says there will be enhancements to the program down the track. There have been 38 shark attacks in Queensland in the past decade, including 7 fatalities. Paul?
Michael Hammond in Brisbane. Thank you. Sport is next with Matt White. And Matt, history favours the Scorchers tonight.
It does. The Sixers are certainly up against it, Paul. They haven't beaten Perth this season, and winning over there is even harder. But once again, Steve Smith could be the difference. Also coming up in sport, into the quarterfinals, the top seeds take it up a gear at the Australian Open. And the chaos caused by kangaroos at the Tour Down Under.
Start your best year with healthier habits. Start by supporting muscle health and vitality with Swiss Ultiboost Magnesium Glycinate from Chemist Warehouse. Just take 1 tablet daily to support healthy nervous system and muscle function. It's more easily absorbed and gentler on the digestive system than magnesium oxide. Relieve fatigue and support energy production with Swiss Ultiboost Magnesium Glycinate 240 pack, just $51.99 at Chemist Warehouse. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
What if $2 was all it took to win this $4.5 million Marta Prize Home package on Bribey Island? With this waterfront home, 2 luxury cars, boat and $1 million in gold. Get your tickets now at martalotteries.com.au.
It's Jamie Harper's Big Rain sell out with crazy deals on computers. Like $500 crunched off this Dell Inspiron laptop. HP Envy 2-in-1 laptop, $500 off. You get a crazy $700 smashed off this HP OmniBook X Flip. JB, you've done it again.
This is your investment property, and these are your tenants. It's easy for them to love living here. It's also easy for accidents to happen, for things to be bumped or spilled. And for some in the home, it's just in their nature.
So it's important you have the right level of cover, including for accidental tenant damage.
Speak to Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist.
Rain is threatening to impact tonight's Big Bash final between the Scorchers and the Sixers at Optus Stadium in Perth. With a raucous home crowd in excess of 50,000 expected, the Scorchers are favourites to claim a record-extending 6th BBL title. But with Steve Smith in sizzling form, the home side will need to be at their best.
Class cricketer, and he makes life difficult for bowlers at the best of times, and that's no different for us. But we'll be better off for having seen a bit of him the other night.
Marley Beardman claimed the wicket of Smith in the qualifier, so it's on again. Seven's live coverage of the final begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Cannot wait. World number ones Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka have sent a warning to their opponents at the Australian Open, stepping it up in the second week. Alcaraz swept past 19th seed Tommy Paul in straight sets to set up a potential quarter-final against Alex de Minaur.
Playing with the home crowd, I think he feels really comfortable here. I'm not going to take it personal, but the crowd is going to be for him, you know, and I know that.
Sabalenka was pushed but was too strong for Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko. Last night, two-time champion Naomi Osaka withdrew from her match against Aussie wildcard Madison Inglis with an ab injury. Inglis is the world number 168. She'll now face Iga Swiatek in the fourth round, which means she'll earn at least 450 grand.
I saw, first round qualies was 40 grand. I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
Novak Djokovic came within centimetres of angrily hitting a ball kid in his straight sets win in round 3. It was Djokovic's 400th Grand Slam match victory. Reigning A-League champions Melbourne City were hit for 6 by Macarthur last night, with Socceroos coach Tony Popovich watching on in Campbelltown. Mid-season signing Mitch Duke struck early for the Bulls.
Straight back in towards Mitchell Duke, and it's taken less than 6 minutes on his starting debut for his new side.
Luke Bratton and Anthony Caceres were among a host of other scorers as Macarthur romped to a 6-2 win. The Bulls are now third on the ladder, 2 points behind leaders Auckland. In the Premier League, Manchester City moved back to within 4 points of leaders Arsenal with a 2-0 win over last-placed Wolves.
Finding Semenyo, no mistake from him.
Liverpool crashed to a shock loss at Bournemouth, conceding from a goalmouth scramble deep in stoppage time to go down 3-2. And Tottenham were held to a 2-2 draw by strugglers Burnley, heaping more pressure on manager Thomas Frank. Aussie snowboarding superstar Scotty James is at the peak of his powers heading into the Winter Olympics. At the X Games in Aspen, the 31-year-old equalled Shaun White's record of 8 gold medals in the halfpipe, executing a trick that's never been done before.
Backside 1440, hang on, Scott, hang on. Never ever has that been done.
Maybe I got a chip on my shoulder every year, thinking maybe that I wouldn't be expected to show up and try again and win again, and managed to do that today, and I'm just, I'm speechless.
Scotty will chase his first Winter Olympic gold medal in Italy next month. And some road-hopping kangaroos have sent riders tumbling at the Tour Down Under, including overall winner Jay Vine, who fell when 2 kangaroos surprised the riding pack during the final stage.
The ochre jersey has gone down. Jay Vine has been affected.
2 of them blasted through the peloton as we were doing probably 50k an hour, and one of them stopped, went left, right, left, right, left, right, and then I ended up hitting its backside.
After a double bike change, Vine went on to secure overall honours for the second time by 1 minute and 3 seconds. Englishman Matt Brennan won the stage. So we now know the path of the kangaroo, left, right, left, right.
Yeah.
If you miss, you've gone right.
Yes. Battling the heat, battling the roos, lots of struggles on the road there. Matt, thank you. Still to come in 7 News, we'll take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast right around the country.
HCF, we offer eligible members health and wellbeing programs, which can be explored through the HCF Healthful app, helping you achieve your health goals at no extra cost. Nice. Very impressive.
Beacon's having a fan and light frenzy. Buy 2 and get 40% off any second item. Fans, pendants, lamps, you choose. Buy 2 and get 40% off your second. Sale on now.
The majestic four-wheel drive, shackled to a life in the suburbs. But now there's an insurance policy that frees the four-wheel drive with cover anywhere you can legally go in Australia. Club 4x4 Insurance. Free the four-wheel drive.
Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom. Save between 20 and 60% across absolutely everything. Plus, enjoy free delivery. Hurry, our biggest sale ever ends Monday. Only at Freedom.
Taking a look at the national weather now, and a trough over southern Australia again, bringing significant heat to much of New South Wales, parts of Victoria and South Australia, with lows bringing heavy rain to North Queensland, showers to southern Queensland. Around Australia tomorrow for the capitals: Brisbane a possible afternoon storm and 37, Sydney partly cloudy and 27, Canberra 33, Melbourne cloud clearing and 30, Hobart mostly sunny 24, Adelaide a blistering 45 degrees tomorrow, with Perth a shower or two and 23. And that is 7 News to now. Our next bulletin is 7 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Kadak. From all of us here at the team, thanks for your company.
Good boy, Wongai, you are beautiful. You know, as Wongai's great-great-grandparents that carried our first explorers across this big brown land. But you don't need a camel to unlock